Hey Limitless Nation, today you're in for a real treat. Today you get to learn directly from Jorn Gijzen. Jorn is a photographer, digital marketer, high-ticket closer, and author. After getting burnt out, Jorn discovered that working in the corporate world for the rest of his life wasn't what he wanted to do. Jorn's life changed the moment he stepped into his purpose, soon finding that he had a natural talent for inspiring fellow entrepreneurs and business owners to take consistent action, get out of their comfort zone, and getting to that next level. Jorn's mission is to help inspire and impact more people to step into their power and create the life they desire. In today's masterclass, you are going to learn directly from the master himself, Jorn Gijzen. Let's dive into it.
Before you dive into today's masterclass session, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the button below. It allows you to receive notification bell every single time we provide you with the content that allows you to live a limitless life. Now, if you want to go deeper on learning on how you can hunt your future, make sure you download our masterclass session at huntyourfuture.com. It allows you to know exactly what you need to do to hunt your future. Plus, we are also going to share with you tips and tricks on what you need to do to live a limitless life starting from today's forward. Now, let's dive into today's masterclass sessions.
Hey, welcome, Jorn Gijzen.
Yes, thank you very much, Donovan. Thank you for having me on the interview. I'm very honored and very pleasure to be on your interview.
Absolutely, and we're happy to have you here with us. Now, Jorn, is there anything that we did not mention in the bio that you would like to share with the Limitless Nation?
Well, maybe that I also love photography and that I love to go. Who doesn't love to go like on travel with my daughter and with my girlfriend?
Okay. Now, Jorn, here at the Limitless Nation, we have a tradition of starting each and every single interview with a limitless quote. So do you have a quote or mantra or even a saying that you say or think to yourself on a regular basis?
Yeah, of course, Donovan. Actually, I have two, if you don't mind. One thing which I think is very important. I'm a quote lover, by the way. I love quotes. I think they're very profound and you get some nice wisdom from it and you can apply it in your life, in your strategies, in your business. And one of the two quotes that I apply the most and which is very important to me is imperfect action beats perfect inaction. And it's by Harry S. Truman. That's the one thing, because I think people, have to take more action and just start doing things instead of perfectioning things and delaying and procrastinating. So for me, that's very important quote. And another thing is life begins at the end of your comfort zone. And it's from Neil Donald Walsh. I love that too, because this is something I wasn't doing before. And I try to stick to this every time, like doing interviews, for example. Which is very new to me, and I said to myself, I fear the fear, but I do it anyway. So get out of your comfort zone, and that's where the magic happens.
Right. You hit it right there on the nail. So in speaking of getting outside of your comfort zone and being in a little bit of discomfort, can you share with the Limitless Nation a time or a scenario, situation where you may have went through a serious challenge or setback or even failure?
Well, yeah. Actually, I've been in a burnout once in my career, because I was working like 60-70 hours a week. I was traveling in two places. I was at two places. I was doing work for 3 or 4 people, in my own for the company, and they're thinking, oh, that's great, let him go, and we're putting some commissions on him, so if he does a great job he's going to work some more harder. So for me it was quite challenging at that time, because it took effort, it takes so much energy, you're getting drained, you don't even notice it, it's having so much impact on your life, and the people around you say, what are you doing, and you're working so much and you look so tired and you don't feel energized, and you get like sort of depressed also. So that was for me the point that I think I was at the lowest point of my life, being in that burnout. I couldn't even drive the car. I was so burned out that it took me 8-9 months to recover. So I didn't even dare to drive the car, even for like a block, because You have so much things going on, and you have so limiting self-beliefs, and you're so drained, so you have to build everything up. And from there on, it takes so much time and effort. It took probably like a year to develop that, but it took also like 8, 9 months to get over it and to form new habits and to enjoy life again and to get your energy back and get to the same level as you were before.
Right, right. So what you're saying is that burnout is real, and it is real, but you were finding yourself being sucked into this burnout hole almost without realizing it, because you had 3 or 4 different people who were supposed to be doing their jobs, but you were doing their jobs, and you had taken on more and more responsibilities, and that was making you work longer and causing you to exhaust yourself out fast.
Yes, absolutely. And that didn't mean, that I was working more than 4 or 5 people, but we had 4 or 5 people, in the office. But through the recession at that time, people were getting fired. So there was work, but the work was for like 3 or 4 people, but I had to do it, by myself for 2 offices. And we have colleagues in the other offices too. And I was doing projects and going through companies where they couldn't enter, where they couldn't lift the foot, where I got things running and starting. So they saw, okay, Jorn is doing great. I was always the example. So they were always putting me up front and like, if he can do it, you can do it too. And yeah, that was so. And one time it was, of course, very delightful and very grateful that they showed me as an example. But you're not mentioning and you're not noticing that you're actually going downwards instead of upwards and going into the spiral of this burnout. So this was actually a pretty impacting thing in my life. But afterwards, actually changed many things. I'm very grateful that I've experienced it in that time, because I learned so much during this period, and especially after this period.
Now, Jorn,
Yes.
in going through this process, this burnout, which must have taken a really big toll on yourself, how did you realize that that's what was happening, and how did you turn yourself around to where you are now?
Yeah, well, like I said, I was working in a corporate job at 2 locations, and then I went down. And from there on, I realized this is not my path anymore. This is not the road I want to follow for, the next 30 years. I wasn't enjoying as much. I went back for a while to, to get back to the job and to make some progress and build up the hours. But I noticed pretty quickly that this wasn't my job and my way to go. From there on, I decided, I had to do something different. I want to do things which I like. I want to do things which I enjoy and where I get energy from, and not what only, drains energy, being on that path of only looking at money and commissions. I want to rather, earn less money and provide more value and working on my own terms instead of only looking after the commissions and the money and chasing money and do everything to hit that goal.
I agree. So Jorn, what are you working on right now?
Hope you enjoyed the masterclass session so far. Before we get into the second half of the session itself, it is very crucial for you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, as I really don't want you to miss out on another masterclass where I'm going to share with you what other expert celebrities, Fortune 5000 companies do to become successful and live a limitless life. So make sure you subscribe right now, and every single time we upload a new video, you will receive a notification bell. This allows you to enjoy the masterclass on the regular basis. So make sure you subscribe right now. Well, as you are ready, let's get into the second half of the masterclass session.
Yeah, well, like I said, from that point on, I went into a company which I went into the corporate world too. I'm doing things which I liked. I'm working with nice colleagues in a nice environment. I'm still working there, by the way, 4 days a week. And from there on, I'm building now my own business, my own thing as a side, because I think I can provide more value to more people instead of only staying in the corporate world. And the thing I was doing maybe that's one thing I can tell, is I was actually looking for videos for my hobby about Jeet Kune Do, and I was trying to look some more into these things that I wanted to go. And then I found a funny Chinese guy, and he was called Dan Lok. And from there on, I thought, who is this guy? And I was looking at his videos. He was a good Jeet Kune Do teacher, and he was teaching stuff, and I liked it. But it seemed he was like a millionaire, and he taught high income skills. So I got interested on that, and from there on, actually, I went into training program of high ticket closing from Dan Lok. Within the training and within the people I spoke with, and also in the whole program, we always talked about influencers and how to find funnels and how to optimize your marketing systems and getting leads. But I didn't know what leads were, and I didn't know how to make a funnel or how to do copywriting. So essentially, what I was doing afterwards is learn copywriting and learn how to build funnels, because I was thinking, if at one point we can close sales, but that's the back end, and in the beginning we can provide better and more leads, better qualified leads, and we combine that, we have a pretty decent combination, right? We can provide more value to customers. So that's what I figured out to do, to provide more and better leads, and to close the leads in the end. And another thing which I wanted to mention is, I mentioned in the beginning, right, photography, because it was my hobby. And I also tried to make people aware, like, that branding and the profile picture is so important, because I think most people overlook this, and most people think, they have a profile picture from people in the club or with their homies or with a girlfriend, but not from themselves. So I wanted to make, these combination about the branding, the profile pictures, the leads, and the high ticket closing into one service for mainly coaches and consultants, but also for authors and speakers. So that's what I'm working on right now. And another thing next to that is, while I was on my path of personal development, while I was stepping more and more into leadership and providing value to my clients, I also saw starting entrepreneurs come on my path and tuning into my Facebook lives. And they were telling me, like, oh yeah, you provide that value and I love it. And they see me as a sort of like in between bridge to the next step. So they see that I'm, stepping into leadership, that I'm getting out of my comfort zone, that I'm taking imperfect actions, that I make failures. I don't care, because if we make failures, we know we can make progress. If we make progress, we can adjust things. So people see that, and that gives me so much rewarding feedback, that people say, I love it, how you provide value, please continue. And yeah, it actually is so grateful that I can help starting entrepreneurs also to give them a bit of push to just over the fence and to get more traction and to get more momentum. So that's actually things I'm doing right now.
That's amazing. Now, Jorn, where can the Limitless Nation go to learn more about you, what you're working on, as well as just, connect and say hi?
The best way to find it is through my website, and the website is www.jorngijzen.com.
Now, Jorn, in your limitless journey, what was something that was holding you back from becoming this limitless version of yourself?
Oh, well, several things, and mainly some things I mentioned in the quotes. That's why I think that there is so resonates so deep with me, because I was a perfectionist. That was also one thing that led to my burnout. I was a perfectionist, so I had to let that go. That's why it's so important for me to take imperfect action, to just take action, tweak along the way, implement and improve and get feedback. This is very important for me, because if I don't do that, I'll get stuck in like details and you're going to procrastinate again, and I don't want that. So that's also very important for me to keep doing. Yeah, and the same thing is actually what I can say, which worked for me, is get out of that comfort zone. Stay curious, stay coachable. If people tell you, like for example, people who are having success, they're doing specific steps or a specific formula. Try to follow that. Try to not to doubt it, but they have a specific success, and it's because of things they do. So if they say, get out of your comfort zone and get in front of the camera or do Facebook lives or do interviews, you know, just just do it. Don't doubt that, because it can bring you so much more. That's what I see right now, that
Right.
I step into leadership and step into sorry, out of my comfort zone, actually, not into, but out of my comfort zone.
Or
And
if you step outside of your comfort zone, you're stepping into something that's not necessarily comfortable for you, but it allows you to get what it is that you're looking for, whether that be more confidence, whether that be more connections, whether that be just more skills in general.
yes, that's true. Because if you don't try anything new, you always stay in the circle you are. You don't get anything new. I know there's a quote on that. I don't know exact the quote, but it goes something like, if you uh, do what you always did, you got what you always get. It is in that sense. I don't know the exact thing, but
You pretty much got it. Another quote that's very similar is the definition of insanity, which is you do the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result.
result, yes, yeah,
Now,
it's the same.
yes. Now, Jorn, with you having helped so many different entrepreneurs and people all on their limitless journey to help them get better through your Facebook Lives, through your courses, and through your trainings, what is a bit of advice that you received that you can pass on to the Limitless Nation?
Well, I think it's not one specific advice, but it's a sum of things. For example, our mentor, like Dan Locke, said, how you do anything is how you do everything. That says so much also, Um, people, when I get sometimes people on a schedule or on a call, they schedule a call and they're too late. They're not punctual. They're not on time. If they're not punctual on time, they're probably not very structured, or they don't value my time. So I want to work with people who value my time. I value other people's time, and I value their presence, and that they want to work with me, or that I can help them, but they also have to value my time and be on time and stuff like that. So sometimes it's very little things which you cannot always learn. And another thing is, which I can say, is to try to be yourself, be authentic. All the rest is taken. Because many people have, for example, they look up to people like Grant Cardone, Gary Vee, Dan Locke, whatever, and to try to reach that or to copy that and to try to be an exact copy. Well, I say no. People want to see you. People want to see who you are, to connect with you, because everybody is different, and you want to rather be different, and unique, than that you're a copy of someone else. So I think
Right.
it's very important to realize too.
I agree. I agree. And part of being unique, what habits have you instilled into your life that helps make you be unique and be yourself and help other people?
So I don't have specific rituals, but what I do like is to end my day with a sort of affirmations, like meditation. So that's not start of the day, but it's more an ending ritual of my day. And the things I do mostly is, I also like to read, also if it's like 1 or 2 pages, and or watch videos about personal development and how you can grow as a person. I think for me that's very important.
I agree. I agree. And that's an amazing thought there, that at the end of each day, you reaffirm to yourself something positive. That way, when you go to sleep, that can be the last thing on your mind, something positive. That way, And when you wake up in the morning, you're already positive and you're moving forward in a positive momentum.
Yeah, so that's, most people maybe will do it, you know, in the beginning of the day. My habit is more in going into the night, so that I, you know, and subconsciously I can get more into affirmation, into that they can ponder on the thought, and that things, you know, can happen in the background, and that I can, you know, restfully go to sleep.
I agree. Now, Jorn, what
Yes.
do you have a resource that you can share with the Limitless Nation to help them on their limitless journey?
What I think that can benefit them is, recently I published a book actually, and it can help people to overcome some, you know, objections, to step more into their um, power, and to gain more clarity. And it's a book that I published, and it's about change your mindset.
Okay.
Change your mindset, and it's seven practical and easy steps to create a life full of abundance and success. I wanted to publish that because I saw, which I mentioned earlier, if I was doing, for example, lives and get the feedback, that I see so many people struggling, and I genuinely want to help people step into their power, changing their mindset, get rid of those limiting beliefs, and step into their power. So that's why I decided, you know, maybe I can help them more to uh, get a resource like a book, because it's not a big book. It's not a book like 300 pages, but it's only like 25 pages. And I did it on purpose because if they want to take action, imperfect action, which I mentioned earlier, it's better to have a short book like 25 pages, because it's easy to read, and when they finish, they can take action immediately. Because you know what happens, right? If you're having a book with like 200-300 pages, it takes time. You go through there, and it takes like weeks or even months, or you think, okay, I'll put it on the shelf, and because it's too much. So that's why I decided to make it short and actionable and easy.
Right. Now, Jorn, tell me again the title of the book.
It's Change Your Mindset, and 7 practical and easy steps to create a life full of abundance and success.
Change your mindset. I like that. Now, where can the Limitless Nation go to find and get this book?
There are actually 2 ways to find the book. One is through Amazon, and they can find it there, and you can buy it there. But what I wanted to do for the Limitless Nation listeners and watchers is actually provide them a copy for free.
Okay.
So yeah, they can go to the website, which I made specifically for the book, and it's limitless.jorngijzen.com.
All right. Thank you very much for your very gracious gift.
Yes, very welcome. I actually, yeah, I like to help people and to help them grow and to gain more momentum and to pump out at the shelf.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Now, Jorn, in addition to your book that you just mentioned, in a hypothetical world, if you lost all the books that you had, what would be the first book that you would go out and get?
For me personally, because it changed my way of thinking about life, about money, about the future, and you know how I wanted to proceed my life and the direction I wanted to go. I think the book F You Money from Dan Lok, because
All right.
it has so much value, and it talks about how money works, what high income skills are, how you actually have to provide more value to other people, you know, instead of only focusing on the money, providing more value. A very interesting book.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Yes.
Now, Jorn, what would you say if in a hypothetical world again, if you had the ability to go back in time, possibly to when you were overexerting yourself with too much work, what would you tell yourself, that younger version of yourself that you may not have heard then?
I guess that will be to don't care as much about what other people think about you. There was also one thing that held me back from stepping into my power, stepping into leadership, and getting in front of the camera, for example, because I'm an introvert actually. People may not realize that, but I'm an introvert. I like to connect with people though, but I'm really shy and in the background. I don't like to be in the spotlight. But like this, providing value to other people and doing these videos and helping people to shine and to step up, that's what I love to do. So I think don't care that much about what other people think about you. Yeah, taking that action and value time, because if I was in my mid-20s, I was like partying and I was like, you know, all the cool stuff. And I don't say you don't have to party, but I was like, you know, like every teenager does, like gaming and partying and every week and stuff like that. But you're not busy with personal development. You're not on the path of investing in yourself. You know, you're going through formal education, but not self-education. And that's what Jim Rohn says, right?
Right.
Formal education makes you a living. Self-education makes you a fortune. So if I had known that earlier, you know, I would have more spent time and money in self-education and on personal development.
You got it. You got it. Now, Jorn, where can the Limitless Nation go to learn more about you, connect with you, find your products, as well as your book, and just connect with you and say hi?
Yeah, actually, the best thing to go is to the website. They can find all the resources there, and they can contact me or book a call. It's www.jorngijzen.com. For the book, they can go the free book for the Limitless Nation. They can go to limitless.jorngijzen.com. And for the rest, I'm active on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
Awesome. Thank you very much for your time, Jorn.
Yeah, thank you for your time. Thank you very much for your invitation to invite me to this interview. I'm very honored and very grateful to be part of this interview and that you asked me to be here.
I'm sure that the Limitless Nation has been inspired by your story. I know myself, I can completely relate to you working so many hours week in and week out, working so many hours with all that pressure on top of you, and still being able to bounce back, still being able to realize that this is what happened to me, and then realizing that that's not how you wanted to live the next 30 years of your life, and changing. And then in doing that, you transform the rest of your life.
Well, like I said, like the burnout brought me so much. At that point, you know, you don't want it and you're frustrated. But now, afterwards, you think you're thankful to have that because it brought you on a different direction and on the path that you actually wanted to go. So I'm actually grateful for it.
Absolutely. Well, until next time, this is Donovan saying stay limitless.
Thank you.
Well, that's a wrap. Please make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the word subscribe. And if you want to go deeper on learning on what you need to do to hunt your future, make sure you watch the interview that I've done with Donovan on what you need to do to hunt your future on every aspect of your being. This allows you to live a limitless life on every aspect of your life starting from today's forward. Plus, you are going to receive tips and tricks on what you need to do to tackle your day, tackle your challenges on every situation, every single time. So go ahead and download it right now, and until then, stay limitless forever.